hair on my ass. Jesus. All right. So, obviously, you guys seemingly had it. Well, I can't speak for everybody, but congratulations to those of you guys on Snap. I tried to take BA up. I got out of that trade within 6 minutes of getting into it. So, that one did pull back, hit my trend line. So it's back on the watch list again. Trust me, I'm gonna run myself into this wall until I make a bag. But all three ETFs just absolutely fucking screamed to the upside, opened up on cost basis, filled the gap, and then pushed higher for a nice gap and go. That's opening. Somebody's mic is open. Um, but that's one of the beauties of opening up on cost basis or on one of the 50% marks. Those are one of the strongest volume points. They hold up pretty well. So, as that being said, again, when we're moving up into all-time highs, if you're long on something, the cues and those are where we utilize these all-time highs in the empty space underneath us to find targets, right, that we could potentially go and retest, like 665 or at worst 663.14, maybe even the open. But that being said, the QQQ obviously followed right along. 24-hour candle, fucking massive green. I deleted the channel earlier that I had that had this one going pretty much to 600. So that channel target that we had dropped, I don't even know when, we are directly up against it, right? And this is only a piece of a channel. It's the only thing I can use to track while we're up at all-time highs, because again, I don't trade the Qs or ETFs. When they're up here, I only utilize them as hedges or hedge opportunities. That being said, again, today you opened up right on top of that structure here and ended up going for a nice gap fill. And yeah, I think so I took a little bit of time before I got on to look at when we rip up into all-time highs and close solid green, how often do you gap up and pull back and see, even if it is just a minor retest, but you pull back through that empty space? And the answer was kind of a lot. Kind of like, again, I'm not going to go through the entire thing, but like good solid green candle close here, you gap up, you flush down, right? Good solid green candle, where was that? Just at right here, right? You gap up and you pull back. Same thing with here, group, solid green candle close, small gap up, whip up, and then back down. So you could try. Again, we're not in the stock market just to, there is room for speculation if you can afford it. I might do the same. Again, is there anything saying to take a pullback trade right now? No, but tomorrow, if we do gap up, I might be interested in taking that gap fill trade to the downside. Last one is IWM, which had a hold today, pulled back, reversed, held. So now we know where the floor is on IWM. I would be expecting that full 245.50 to get tapped tomorrow. And of course, you're moving into all-time highs. So at this point, it's still that basically 250. It would be the next psychological target to the upside. Again, all of that's going to have to be mapped out on a lower time frame, where IWM has a 30-minute range here with empty space filling up to that 245.50. So if you can get that done overnight or tomorrow, I think you can see new highs. But all right, that being said, I'm crazy short. I'm not short until I see something that looks good. Coach KJ, no, I've seen your shit. Yeah, no, you're a scammer. Sorry, KJ. All right, so all three ETFs, we do have data, I believe, tomorrow. Yeah, we had FOMC speakers today. So tomorrow, Chair Powell is going to be speaking at 12:35. You got 9:45 data, flash manufacturing PMI, services PMI. So that's what we're looking forward to. Obviously, earnings isn't super exciting right now. A couple of things that I am still watching here. Why are we not uploading? There we go. So IBM looks great. Today saw another big solid push up into that empty space. Currently sitting up about 200+%. So if you grab that trade, pretty happy about that one. Nice, easy ride to the upside. Great punchbacks, obviously, to lead us into this trade. but that's what you get when you close solid up against a major resistance with no resistance. Rivian, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Hit the target today. Those pretty funny. Those contracts, those 225.50s for December. I don't know if anybody has those. Those shot up to 130%. It's funny what happens when you have the contracts that nobody's interested in, when nobody's interested in them, and then all of a sudden everybody's interested in them. You have the Labubu before Labubu goes viral. It's pretty simple. So with that being said, yeah, it's going ham. I thought he said, yeah, it's going, but he said, yes, queen. And so I take all that back. All right, so right here is a range. That is it. That's all I have to work with here. Are we closing up against the first green candle to our left? Yes, lower time frame setup does reveal somewhat of a range, right? And I'm going to use what I can. All I see right here is a top. I did look at a lower time frame, and it almost appeared as if that, right, this little whippy range right there was that median that we retested. So I'm going to look at that 1560 to be broken, and yes, 1581 to go and send us to that top. But this is perfect. Equity's looking tasty. No complaints on that one. Stoneco, which I know some of you guys just might not have it, yet to hold something, but this is going to take a long ass time. Hopefully not, but that's why we got longer expiration contracts. It is not rejecting in the same manner that it typically does. Will it pull back and retest? In my experience, if it doesn't get going, it will go get the volume that it needs, right, to move up. Caught a nice 400% move on Apple from Friday from your strat. Fuck yeah, nice job, dude. What is this demand and supply boxes? What is your approach? Pivots plus zones. I mean, if this is the first time you're looking at me, that was a pretty good guess, but no. I have a system called the Potterbox trading system. I look for areas of consolidation. I have found that inside of those areas of consolidation, at the 50% mark, that is where the majority of the volume is held. So if the floor of that box is lost and then regained, and then you close a candle to the 50% mark, according to my understandings and to me, that is a guarantee that you will see new highs. And partnered with our ability to spot empty space, which in this example would be the reason why I'm in this, is these pockets here that have no resistance. And so if we're able to reclaim or push past the resistance that's kept you there, no. I mean, am I looking at any sort of supply and demand? Do I factor that in? I didn't even really learn supply and demand. To be honest with you, that I got the basics. You draw like weird little boxes on the tops and the bottoms or some shit like that. But if the only supply and demand traders that I ever met were fucking losers. I don't mean that, like as in like their life. They could have been great people, but they just weren't making money. So I wasn't going to learn from them. I think for equity, maybe supply and demand is purposeful, or could be, but not as much as this is. So, all right. Anyway, TTD. Yes. So I don't know if you guys grabbed some calls. I'm sure. I hope to God this is in the request page. Let me see. There it is. Ivy. Oh, never mind. That was from 919. I'm scrolled way too far up. Let's see. Ivy, give Joe Kaz a nice spank on the butt. Good job, Joe. Beautiful. That's what I wanted to see. Yes. Yes. If you are doubting this, you have fear issues, okay? Because at some point you got to let it go. You can't change the chart anymore. Is it solid green candle close above what we need it to be? Yes. Is it? So if you grabbed those calls last week, Friday or Thursday, awesome. You got a third bounce today off of that same wick, 4360. You have successfully moved through that punchback. And so, yes, the target is up in the highs. Now, I'm going to sister in, of course, the imbalance with the 50% mark of that empty space. That's going to be 4850, excuse me, shut up. 48.75. I can't read. Will be that median target, sorry, to the upside. Now, I am wary and aware of 47.80, which was a previous floor that we did flush through. So it'd be nice if we just blow past that and get to that imbalance. So, but other than that, right? What's this? That's hilarious. This guy said, "What's this chick babbling about?" That's actually a crazy insult right there. Is that? Are you saying I'm pretty? He inadvertently called me pretty. Thanks, baby. Uh, no, I'm gonna be Anakin for Halloween, and no, I'm not cutting my hair, and especially not now that you told me that. A low taper fade. You know what? 67. You heard me? 67. That's right, chat. You heard. I don't really know what that means, but 67. 6, 7. Yes, they are. There we. All right. Those aren't kids. Those are men. All right. If you have anything you would like for me to take a look at, please drop your request right now, or else, or something like that. Where'd my hat go? I don't know. Yo, I hear barking or grunting. One of those has to stop. Oh my. Oh my god, dude. It sounded like Roku was. Sound like kind of sounded like he loved the UPS guy there for a second. You have pretty lips. I can see why. What the fuck is going on here, guys? I had a great day just laying in bed, relaxing, getting my back cracked. Uh, I mean, and then, and then this. I'm gonna sue Simple Stacks Investments, dude, for sexual harassment. How does that work? All right. Really fire. Oh, never, dude. Never. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. All right. Lulu, of course, right? It's a good solid again, that was one of those reaction type trades. You had to clear the candle close, you did. So what's next, right? You really can't really pull anything else from that 24-hour time frame. The 4-hour time frame doesn't offer much either. The 2-hour time frame does have a candle close over here to your left, and you are above that. Now I do see wicks over there, so I'm going to go to the hourly time frame. I'm going to go to the 30-minute time frame, and it seems to hold, right? So I think what's really, really important here, I'm going to go to the 15 actually. That holds all the way down. So not bad. I would not disregard this wick at 176. Now I know that's on the lower time frame, but you are moving into or through empty space with nothing really to rely on, right? You'd have to go all the way back here, and at this point, you really didn't have or haven't had any well-established floors. So when I look at this one, I just look in the most recent price action, and that does, I mean, it looks good. So abide by your stop loss, know where that is. I think that's probably one of the most important aspects of a trade like this, right? Where there's a little bit of uncertainty, um, is having a plan. That's quite literally more important than, you know, whatever else that you're trying to factor into the trade. It's what is holding you up. And I think on the, even the 5-minute, I can see areas, and that right there at 170, 174 kind of gives it away. That's what needs to hold. That's what needs to bounce. And honestly, you need to fall fast. Are we having class? Yes, we are. Yeah, as long as I can stand. All right, let's see here. AI to the upside, 24-hour time frame. Oh yeah, I meant to talk about this one as well. Looks great. looks as good as it can go, right? Solid, I mean, decent can. This is on the 24-hour, right? Good. If you are holding from last week, good. Looks good. The only thing that needs to happen is continuation to the upside. That is it. That is it. So there is a candle close right here. Again, not really anything formidable. That's 910. That's about it, right? So at this point, I do like to look back and kind of see, how price has reacted to certain floors that we have held, like this one right here. I could see some pretty rapid price movement off of 1935. So we'll again, you're moving into that empty space with, really don't have a solid floor that you're bouncing off of or one to go and reclaim. So you're looking for more information on what needs to hold closest to you. You could go to the 4-hour and kind of drop that down. But yeah, I mean, from what I can tell, looks pretty good. Again, in this scenario, just knowing that it needs to hold and stay above 1823, that's imperative. So, all right, how am I feeling about BA? Still great. Still great. I still love that setup. So good. Let's see. Oh, did I skip that one? Damn. All right. SMCI. So that one whipped up. I don't like when stocks do that, period. But where are you closing? That's, again, who cares what I like? You are closing green, right? So sellers have been unable to push you back all the way. Again, when the sellers step up, their goal is to pass the baton, which means they're looking to settle price underneath where they have established control. So have you done that? No. You are closing up against this. So it would be just a open right back up above 47 or an open again, maybe above 47 or at 47.50. And that's really going to be the collar. Now, you could dive into the wick and look at how did you pull back, right? And this is that lower time frame top-down analysis that's going to give you a little bit of an edge as far as the potential here. On the 5-minute, right, it looks like we're nearing these two wicks right here. So probably would be looking at a bounce possible off of that 46.66. You did leave empty space behind. That empty space does lead you to 47.66. Unfortunately, you do not have any boxes. I do see some tight candles over here, but again, I don't see any boxes. So I think just starting with that, playing this channel out, and I hate to do analysis on the 3-minute, but it might be the only choice that I have. You have a box right there. Again, not enough to call it a box. One thing that I do like about this, though, is the price action moved relatively quickly. So if price can move back up off of this bounce quickly, you could end up pushing those sellers out. It's not heavy overhead resistance that you're dealing with here. So Stone is STNE. What was my character in Harry Potter? I was the fucking, that dude, Neville's Toad. I was the voice actor for him. Let's see here. Yo, is that cat snoring? Are you snoring, dude? Can you stop? You're disturbing the analysis. All right. What's my safe word? What does that even mean? MU down. You're trying to short this for earnings, right? It's today. Okay, right? Listen. I told you guys what I saw last time. Certain earnings you run up or dump into, and that kind of takes away a lot of that volatility. So it is left up to purely chance. What do I like in going into earnings? Consolidation. What do we have? Absolute rip dick. So what is tomorrow? Earning? Yeah. So it's tomorrow. That being said, the only targets I'm going to be able to give you is 141 to the downside. That's it. I really don't. I mean, on the weekly, 145, unless this thing completely melts down and goes back to 125, which you can gamble on if you choose. I wonder how expensive those contracts are as well. It could be delicious. Oh, IBM? Yeah, IBM's I'm making money right now. Right now. I expect we'll hit 278 tomorrow. Yeah, like right now. Like literally. Like I hear like I just hear shekels. Just ting ting. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not shekels. Maybe not shekels. Yeah. I said shekels. All right, I'm done. Didn't you see my profile picture? Okay. Change that. Let's see here. It's too many shekels. Why are these shekels shaved? All right, let's see here. 180. Potter do signals for a week. All right, you twerk for a week and put it on TikTok then. Okay. All right, deal. Let's see here. Twerking for Potter boxes. That needs to be the hashtag so I can find it. Let's see. IMU, IBM, EMPH. Looks like it could be nearing a punchback. Again, this is one of those fucking dinosaur grandpa stocks. It takes a minute, even when it rips the upside. Clean, empty space, you'll get clean movement. But here, that empty space has been filled, so you're relying on a punchback. Then you have an overhead resistance right here. Surprise, 419, 4619, excuse me. And then you'll be met with a 4919 immediate resistance overhead. So SMC, I did that one. Trip up. Again, right place, right time, longer expiration contracts in this scenario might be the move. Stick to your stop loss. You're waiting. You're waiting. If it's earnings, then maybe shoot beyond earnings. But yeah, if you bring them up, then yeah, sure. Thank you guys for tapping your screen, by the way. They're saying there's a 70% chance SPY being read by 1% sometime this week. That is very ambiguous. Or I who's they? First of all, I mean, I think that's like, yeah. After every big rip, we have like a pullback. I feel like that's like, I don't know. That's like saying if I eat fucking beans, I'm gonna fart. Like chances are pretty high. Let's see here. Oh god, here it goes again. Listen, yeah, I'm staring at it today. I popped into it. I didn't. I think I lost like $200, so I'm not crying about nothing. Yeah, yeah, exactly. But it did come down to, and I don't know why or where or when I decided to move the box, but it did go down perfectly to that 50% mark of that range that we talked about, 211.75, and it is bouncing. So you guys can probably guess. I don't believe it. What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, I'm looking. I just punched through the box. I mean, if you decide to take it long here, polish them up. You know what I'm saying? Because shit's not going to be super easy. I don't mind speculating here on the 2 hour. It's the channel sinks a little bit, so we might have some tomfoolery, if you will, around this area. But the floor is clear. Floor is clear. Can I get a hat for the videos for working out for Pocket Potterbox? That's crazy. He's gonna do it. All right. We have. How do you feel about? I mean that's not bad, RJ. Yeah, that's a good expiration. I think that gives you enough time. CVS, I have the same target, same floor. That's going to be 77.36 directly up ahead of you. That is what has to break. Once you get above that, then you can start dealing with this empty-ish space to the upside. But I think, again, this floor, 77.50, 78.25, that's going to be the most important floor there. So, can you reschedule to the weekend if you don't feel up to it? I mean, we can do a class on the weekend too as well. Doesn't look like you're making any money. Isn't that lot? What? It doesn't look like you're making any money. Isn't the line supposed to go up? What the fuck are you talking? What are we talking about here? Um, what line? Oh, you're talking about prop firms and how they have little. Yeah, we're not trading on prop firms here. Well, some people do, but not me. Coin, disappointing, but also set up for fucking success. Honestly, I don't know. I have been, yeah. This is whoo, not saying yes, but I feel like I don't know if it's an overnight move that's going to happen on this one, but man, you go fat gap fill right there with any sort of volatility, and I think we get 365. Very simple. I mean, this setup does look actually phenomenal. Yeah, we're charting here. If you guys are on TikTok, if you guys don't mind tapping your screen, I appreciate you. Let's see here. Yeah, for tonight's class, I if you know, don't hate me, but it might only be like an hour and a half. My standing time is low. All right. Sitting time is even lower. Let's see here. CVS coin LFMD. That sounds like a fucked up abbreviation. Life Med. Why does this go up? So clearly empty space gets filled. Empty space gets filled. Empty space gets filled. Okay, so I mean, I don't know what this is personally. Hmm. Okay, so you have a floor right here, which was resistance, which was a floor. And that is kind of what you refuse going up. So this box right here, we need to go and reclaim the 730, and 730 would really be where this setup could take off. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. Now, the 24-hour candle close isn't bad. Again, it's not my kind of stock, but this box kind of disintegrates as you go into a lower time frame, kind of leaving you with that 675. So, all right, let's do NVIDIA. So, Manny, what did I say about this? Remember what I said about NVIDIA? You remember, dude? Yeah, and it was, and you know what? This thing's probably gonna gap up and go into all time fucking highs. This was, I told Manny when we saw this, I said they're gonna jork around sellers until they're able, and they jorked it, dude. Literally, that is how you turn sellers into buyers and rip dick. I mean, that right there, perfect, right? Go down, fill your empty. Oh, you were chasing. Oh, 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 fuck. Mhm. Holy shit! Yeah, those. I see that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I filled it to the T. Yeah. Damn. I mean, this is also like, yeah, and this is also a punch. I mean, if you look at the story here, it is absolutely like, if you think about it from a seller's perspective, there couldn't be anything worse. You get the three off the top, right? I heard countless fuckers talking about triple top. Amazing. It did obviously did break down, right? But the first right. Oh, dude, I have people be like Head and Shoulders. I'm like, dude, what Head and Shoulders? I don't even know if you've seen a human before. What the fuck? Yeah. Yeah, it's one of Manny's biggest blessings is he just can't see that shit. I got I got to stop using words like jorking because then I get people on TikTok like, "What's jorking?" It's a technical term. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Naturally. I mean, there's no way you're blowing past that either. Ugh. I mean, looking at this 24 hours, like you go down, you fill the gap. This dump happens in a way that actually is, it's like almost being passive aggressive to sellers. Like you get a breakdown below the floor, then you get 3 consecutive days of sideways action. Then you get a flash dump, right? Remember, fast price action reels in people fast, right? And in this scenario, you gap it right back up. You pop up, right? And then you could see sellers try and drive that wick down. Next day, pops up, same thing, straight to cost basis, fills up that empty space. I remember people asked me about this one. Pulls back and dips in. So on a lower time frame, you'll see these bars right here were empty. So they give sellers 2 days just to get that last like fucking sniff in, dude. Candle gaps up on the floor and explodes. And right there, dude, you can only imagine if you're in a seller's position, you are fucking, excuse my language, you are cooked. That's amazing. But I see this one again. If I even if I'm wrong, that's one of those setups that I would assume just goes into new highs, 190s, 195s. Again, at this point, it's on to you. All right. FTNT up. Did I do that one? Yeah. Good job. You held what you needed to hold today, whatever. You did have a nice little wick down, right? That's obviously showing buyers are still present. I'm looking at that 87 as your next target up above. Don't overthink shit. ARKK spending a little bit of time consolidating, right? Higher time frame, open candle or candle open inside of that same trading range. You are nearing, right, some minor resistances like these wicks at 88.50, which I suspect will be the next target. But if you've ever traded ARKK, they are going to not move in a straight line. So I would very much be paying attention to the current box and the floor of 83.96. I don't think it's over when it loses it, but I do see retest at 83.45 and at worst 82.50. Okay. Let's see here. Can't hear Discord. Oh, are they talking? Oops. My bad. Manny, are you talking? Somebody talk? Oh, okay. Why do I have fear, but I know what is going on? Should I do a neuromint? That was a great question. I have promoted NeuroGum way too much on this channel. That is not the secret to success, dude. I mean, if I'm being 100% real with you, while there was times while I was still developing this, dude, I mean, I was doing the opposite of neuromints. Let's just say that. More of some. I don't have a promo code, so good luck. Um, you're gonna put a. But that being said, I don't think that neurogum is the way. I don't personally. I mean, focus your brain. Top. It's good for that. Um, but I don't think that's like gonna get your fear removed. Fear is a lack of understanding. So understand more. Like if you don't know, like I don't, I really don't feel that fear anymore because I can reassure myself. Like I listen, you know what the fear, and I know that somebody in this Discord or somebody right now is looking at TTD and they're scared. And in some scenarios, right, even this red candle here is probably scaring the shit out of somebody. I'm gonna take this setup regardless. Why? Because it adheres to my strategy to a T. I know where it can't go, right? I know what is holding it up. So for some odd reason, this does not work out. I know where it needs to bounce tomorrow at 45.82, and I know what it cannot lose, which is the 45.50. I know that, right? And so if I have a good, solid expiration prepared for all of this empty space up above me, then you should be okay. And there is, again, how many setups do you need to watch fly by that look exactly like this, and you're gonna, and maybe one doesn't work, and you're gonna carry that one with you. But again, how many, the amount of times that I've seen it not work versus the amount of times that I've seen it work, it's usually when it doesn't work, it's because it doesn't have liquidity. So even your boxes don't have any volume in them. And that's, again, one of the reasons I stay away from pharmaceutical stocks and all sorts of shit like that. But that being said, we focus on the higher time frame. 24-hour candle, is that a 24-hour candle right up against those wicks? Yes, one simple gap up would and could and more than likely would send us over the only high that we rejected, which is technically true, right? Which would be the wicks that were the one wick that was up above you. But that's it. So anyway, you can yeah, dude, and yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, yeah. I mean, if you want all of that, then maybe not 2 weeks. The target 50 or somewhere in the 48 to 50s, depending on what your risk is, what contracts you fit your risk. Yeah, but 50 is the target. And 50, guys, what are people going to buy when 45 is broken? When 48 is broken? When 49 is broken? Yeah, I can hear you. I was finishing my statement. Yes, you're all right. You're heard. We hear you, Stelio. We hear you. There, I mean, that one's still going to receive some love in the 48, but you're going to really see that contract move because once the 50 gets too expensive, that volume's going to move to outside. So, all right. All right. Okay. Let's see. What time is it? It's 3:38. We're moving. Good timing. All right. Tesla upside. Can you get a fucking life? All right. Let's see here. So this isn't going to be anything that I'm going to be able to pull anything extra out of until I go here, right? And one of the targets that I gave you guys was 449.80. We hit 445.80. Okay, so we're still not quite there. And again, when I ask myself, which is what I do when I'm in a position, if you're in a position, what do we need to lose? That is what you just retested. How did you retest it? How did you fall? Fast. So the retest probability here is relatively high. Looks pretty good. Looks like you're retesting what you need to retest. You do have a sneaky little gap down there. Your wick or your low from today's open is cost basis in your pre-market box. So today's low for 29.90 would be where the gap fill would occur. Not going to call anything past that, but I would expect, and looking at this chart right now, 440.80 to potentially be retested unless some sort of overnight gap down occurs where you could use TSLL to hedge of some sort or something of that nature. Sorry. Am I on YouTube? It's hard to see the chart on TikTok. Turn your screen sideways. Flip me on my side. Pause. Don't do that. All right. Let's see here. Dead ass, man. There's something. Well, dude, I up to trigger any. Well, the way that when I look at Disney on the weekly, dude, it just, yeah, the weekly plagues me. So here's what I have found, and for anybody who's interested, this is why I've exerted this exact price level as the place to fall. I want you guys to pay attention to how price responds to the 106 and 108 level. Hit, fall, loss, fall, reject, reject, right? Fall. Here, same thing. We can move that down just a tad. The price, obviously, volume moves down to 106. Hold, loss, fall, hold, loss, fall, above, rip. So where do I like those? When you get to the weekly, the reason why you don't draw a lot of lines is because the lines are more important. I can definitively tell you that I don't give a shit about shorting the mouse until the mouse loses that floor. And there's even a gap fill that is right underneath it. So when the gap, and this is one of those things, is you can try, you can try to short it to that level, but does Disney also still have empty space up above it? And is it going up, or is it the trajectory still up at the moment? Yes. Is it still at resistance, and have sellers shown out in a similar manner, right? You can see right here, we do consolidate, right? Have they shown out in a similar manner and drove price under levels that buyers could not sustain? The answer is yes. So if you're going for the gap fill, do your thing. But you better be solid when it comes to where your fucking entry is at. That's all I'm going to say. And where your stop loss is, which, again, those go hand in hand. All right, Fig. Weekly, nothing. 24-hour candle, solid. 4-hour, don't have any more information. I don't know why I have this box there. So that is a good solid candle close if you were to be taking this trade. Obviously, I have nothing to say about that. There does look like there's a little tiny channel that you are traveling in, so it would be of interest to break out of that. And at this point, yeah, you're aiming up for the floor at 64.80. Those are the type of setups that where your stop loss is matters more. Overthinking anything else is wasted time. I still think the same thing that I said about this before, which is it's likely to pop to $21. Now, again, there's a ton of empty space up above it. The way that you typically go to the upside on a normal basis is not it does not look like something that would just rip all the way through. I mean, you do have pockets of empty space. They do get filled. So perhaps news could send this flying. You are holding your floor. But as of right now, I can only give you what the channel offers. And that channel is in confluence with a previous floor right around that $21 level. So obviously you could sister that into your analysis and look for 22 beyond that. So I did that one. My IBM strike, I have the 285 strikes, which are up 210% right now. I've only trimmed that one a couple of times, so we're still cooking with Crisco here. Disney reinstated Jimmy Kimmel on Tuesday. You know, I don't really think that's price action worthy, right? It didn't drop when he got dropped, so why would it pop if he got reinstated? In fact, I think one of the main things that Trump pride on is that, Jimmy Kimmel's just losing money, but I don't care nor at all. So about whether he's losing money or not, right? Or Trump's opinion on him. All right, 24-hour time frame, Worthington Express. It's getting close to the bell here. This is absolutely a trees grater on the eyes. Does it move on earnings? A simple question to ask. Looks like it moved right there pretty well from $40 all the way to 51. It's okay. Does it really show a setup? I don't see one. So let's keep going. Earnings trash, earnings trash, earnings I don't know if you're going to make any money on that. Right here, earnings is relatively trash, decent, kind of pretty much trash, right? Because you pop up and then open up, wick out, so maybe you have a chance to get out of that. So I mean, it's going to be hit or miss. Contracts are monthly and is a big mover on earnings after it is. I think it's more hit or miss fish than anything, if I'm being 100% honest with you, dude. Now, Schwab, man, I should kept going. Thank you guys. If you guys are on TikTok, this is all free if you don't mind tapping your screen. Muchas gracias. Okay, so simple weekly retest off of the previous area of. So now you're stuck, right? Now you have the liberty of of making a decision. right? One of those decisions is going to be obviously the punch back to the upside, but you also have a box directly underneath you here, and that would also catch you down. So, this is definitely a stock I don't mind taking on earnings, but I love trading when it has empty space that it does not have. We traded this when it had a perfect setup and nice empty space and good fluidity. Now you can see that's just dried up, right? And you're probably asking me, the fuck do you mean by that, right? What do you mean dried up? Can you guys see the difference between this? Like, let me copy and paste this onto a regular price action, right? So here's the difference between a stock I fucking hate and a stock I'll trade, right? And that means that sometimes a stock I did like to trade turns into a stock I don't like to trade really quickly. And this would be one of those ones where it just doesn't seem as lucrative yet, right? Because we're not seeing big flashes of volume, big empty spaces created. I would say earnings right around the corner could help create that. But that's a bet you're going to have to take on something that is going into it is consolidated going into earnings, right? So once that floor is recovered, I'm not saying that there is an empty space inside of that box that could get filled. So if that's what you're looking at and you're looking to trade it into that event, that's a factor. But all right, yes, QQQ would be, yeah. What's up? I I did. I believe they probably posted the clip already. Okay, I did do Tesla. I definitely did Tesla. I definitely did it. You know what, dude? You should be telling me about Tesla. It's been 2 years now. You should be telling me all the things, all the secrets. You should be like, Potter, there's a punchback. All right, then what are you asking me for? Ooh, you tell the class. You're the Tesla god. You're basically inside of Elon. If Elon, listen, if Elon fell down, yeah, if Elon fell down a flight of stairs and his pants fell down and Astro saw an opportunity, he would did he right in. You know what I'm saying? Michael Phelps from the high board, right in. And then he would take control of Elon's skin body. All right. Anyway, that's pretty weird. All right. Data Dog, what do you want to do to this? What do you want to do? What's the dog doing? Would be worth a light buy, early wait for confirmation. So again, I'm going to say, where's my empty space that I'm trading it into? If that's what you're looking for, I don't see it. That's number one. Is there a punchback or possible move into, well, I can't call all-time highs either. So you're going to have to focus on the most recent price action. And yes, you do have a tap off of 144.74, right? It does make up for a pretty decent box like setup. So if you decided to speculatively buy, I think the floor would be right around that 133.88. Yes, I did. Path. That sounds gross. I think that's perfectly natural. Yeah, this week, by the way, I want you guys to start thinking about, obviously, if you've already communicated with people, uh, we're going to try to find some trading buddies or accountability partners. Some people have already taken it upon themselves to do that. But and again, you might already know who you want to partner up with. It could be more than one person. I don't, this isn't a fucking a classroom where I'm grading you. You're trying to make money, so the end result there is obviously mutual. But you, if you have somebody in mind, you can go ahead and start talking to them. If you have similar account sizes, that would also be very beneficial as well. Obviously, that's going to make sure that you guys are both having to look around the same thing. So it doesn't really make sense for somebody, to have 100,000 in their trading account and somebody to have 500. So if you know you're playing or trading with money bags, Manny, Manny. All right, 24. All right. Mandy never forgets. So that's an old box, right? Dinosaur punchback. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to reuse the same area. So there is a retest possible at 1275, but there is a target above you at 1350. Upon moving outside of that, it is technically empty space up to 1445. Okay. Okay. What's up? No. 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 No, 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 no. I think the only thing. How much are this week's 44s or 42s or 43s actually? Let's see here. Took a long ass time. So pullback would be at worst 43. You could hedge yourself so easy on this. I would say $42 strikes. If you have the contracts expiring for October 10th and they're centered around the $50 strike, or you have the 11th and those are at the $50 strike. I think having, per two contracts, you could have one, I wouldn't push it too far, or per three one, but in this case, also just having a great stop loss is probably more important, so you don't need to go crazy. But as of right now, again, a little pullback here at the end of the day, leaving behind some 5-minute empty space. I think it'll set up pretty nicely. So, all right, let's see here. What is a punchback? A punchback is part of my strategy where price moves through the 50% mark of a area of consolidation after losing a floor or popping up outside of it. So, yeah, what's up? Okay. Yeah. Here's what needs to happen for everybody who's involved, but especially those of you guys who are playing outside of 50. Here's how you're going to make money. TTD big ass green candle. That's just it. Simple as that. If it can explode and push off of that, whatever that may be, uh, and fill up the majority, if not all of that empty space, then you will have nothing to worry about. Okay. So why do we take out of the money contracts when we're trading into empty space? Because empty space typically 9.9 times out of 10 provides the right conditions for rapid price action, which then fills volume or puts volume into our contracts that normally wouldn't, right? Rivian obviously being a really good example of that. So, all right. Did I do Uber? Uber down. Listen, I feel I don't when yeah, so I'm not somebody who's going to short something at all-time highs. Okay? Until something has been lost that I can verify is under seller's control, right? I'm not touching it. And also, the opportunity needs to be there for obviously for me to make money. That being said, there's a lot of volume under you. So in order and just because we had a little pullback today, that could just mean maybe some consolidation tomorrow or just a retest. But again, for me, I'm not one to just kind of throw some shit at the wall to see if it sticks until I see. And you could use the lower time frame, right? That's always been my advice to anybody who's doing anything that I wouldn't do, right? Which is fine because I wouldn't do some things that you guys do is fine. But having a great stop loss slash great entry, candle closes, reds, if you're red solid candle closes to your left, using those if you're going long, or the bottom of green candles as if you're going short. If you can get an entry that aligns with the floor or a ceiling of a box, which boxes that contain signals within them, right? Then you're in alignment with something that buyers slash sellers don't want the opposition to reclaim, which means your stop loss is protected or is with the gang. All right. So yeah, Lulu does look good. We have gone. If you did get TTD this week's contracts, I'm not. I think that's something that maybe literally at the last very minute you could take, or even tomorrow, since it's pulling back now. And when that empty space up above us is filled, which we saw that on the 5-minute, that's where we could tap in. But all right, Riot. So good bounce today, right off the structure above you, but the target will still remain directly up above you at that 1850. Once you break that, we could talk shop about the 1950s. So, I don't need your opinion. Yeah, it's funny. What expiration do I think is good for IBM? I think that I again don't feel comfortable telling you guys to get into something that I'm currently up 2 to 3, or 200, even 100%. That being said, taking it now, obviously we're already in empty space. The pullbacks could, we could go and retest areas like that 268. And so if you buy, right now, yes, the target is still 278 to the upside, but you would have to have a longer expiration, because again, one of the most important things about taking an entry is where can you set a stop loss. I'd say 273.89 would be that stop loss. But if I was you and you were me, I would be moving forward and looking for the next setup. W down. Okay, so you did leave a gap in there. That's a little spooky, right? You definitely have a ton of rejections. This looks like it might want to give you a pullback. That pullback, empty space underneath you, obviously gives away. And so if you were taking this 86.33, this seems to be the floor. Clearing those wicks, the first target would be 83, followed by it would be 83 followed by 81.12. And again, the trajectory is up. You did leave, and you are leaving empty space behind. So this is something that could easily reverse. So, yeah, still watching BA. It's again, not giving any signals yet. I literally just need to wait for that floor to be reclaimed, and or again, see something on a lower time frame that'll help me get in. So I got you, Delightful Fox. So when we took that, you just took shorter expiration contracts? Did you? Hmm. Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, making sure we have the right expiration, obviously. Oh, today's the first day of fall. That's right. Eh? Who's talking? Barely. It sounds like somebody's kidnapped you. Okay, there you are. Yeah, 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 yeah. And then I mean, again, if we can find some even lower time frame, I don't mind fucking around to try and get a good entry on this one. So I'm watching it like a hawk. So how is it falling right now on the 5? Can that get filled back up? Could I take an entry? Win that empty space. So like I might, dive into some early positions here. One of the things I did see that I do like just now, got a nice little channel here. So we'll have a chance. You know what I mean? It might go lower, it might lose that floor. And then every time we lose a floor, it's like, cool, now I have a place I know that sellers don't want buyers to get. And I have a place that if I'm long, I know where I need to reclaim. So, and that just takes the stress out of it. Like you look at how much potential is on BA, it's like, yeah, maybe I'll speculate, but when the floor gets reclaimed, which on the 5 minute it is lower at 213. Well, no, I guess it is 213.65. So, but yeah, Kimball's coming back tomorrow. Cool. Oh my god, I just cracked my back so good. Holy shit. Damn, getting old. Grab. So that one's really close to the floor. Same thing I said last week. 668 has to be reclaimed. That is literally the next area of resistance that you have above you. So consolidation or momentum is what is going to move you through this. You're already starting to lose momentum. So how can I get on a call with you? I don't do one-on-ones, man. Uh, pretty much ever. I Yeah, I don't. I don't think you need them. I know it's like you're talking about like on the trading chat and stuff. Gotcha. Yeah. So, um, again, for those of you guys, one of the easiest ways to make money in this space, like as in my position, is to like try to like offer one-on-one mentorship, which is just taking advantage of that I'm new or I don't understand. It's a vulnerable spot to be, right? When you need guidance, that's in any area in life. And so I think you just need more information. So give it 2 weeks, give it 3 weeks, ask me the questions that you think you would ask me in a one-on-one call. I'm right here. Yeah, you can get the workshop and join the Discord and talk to me in there, but save your money. I don't want to do it. Not because I don't. Well, actually, I don't want to do it because I don't think that it works. I think that sometimes it can even hurt. I can make it worse because then you give too much information. Sometimes to people. So, I think really, just trust that you're in a good space here. If you're watching this right now, you're in a good space. Okay, and you can talk and you can talk to people who are doing it or have already done it and are profitable. There's people who are just getting started, just like you. So I mean, there's just give some time. All right, it's investment to join PDF. What's a PDF? Can someone help me? I just got to embarrassment. Nah, you're not embarrassed, dude. Don't be embarrassed. Don't ever be. Yeah, don't be embarrassed about the money, dude. We're all here as a collective trying to do one thing, and that's get the bread. Maybe take back Jerusalem. I don't know. I don't just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just joking. All right. Let's see here. Oh, beautiful. 10-3. That's good. Just give me my money. All right. Bull. Is that one? What did it do today? Starting off green. Did it shoot up? Yeah, there you go. Good candle close on the floor there. That's what you want to see. Um, area of consolidation right here. Listen, real quick. Y'all are not slick on TikTok, by the way. I know when you guys are asking me, hey, Potter, what'd you take? I know what that means, okay? You can't come in at the end of the day. You'll know. You'll know when I like a setup. I'll tell you all about it. You got to be here. All right? I don't mind you asking for my watch list, but you ain't slick. All right. Up or down? I'm kidding. So basically, again, the empty space ends here, but the next target would be 1477. So I'm joining tomorrow at 9:20. Very good. All right. Let's see. I think that's about it. Let's see here. Snap. What the fuck? Yeah, tomorrow is the rapture. So keep an eye out for that. If anybody wants to go to a entertainment store, an adult entertainment store, and go fill up the blow up dolls with helium and put dresses and clothes on them, that would also be really funny. I'll give you extra points if you film it. Anyway, I don't know what time. I, I don't know what time the rapture is. No, I'm not joking. Go look it up on TikTok. The people right now are fully invested that tomorrow's going to be the rapture. I saw some lady crying today on TikTok. She was like, "Is anybody having a hard time knowing this is the last moment you're gonna spend with your kids?" I was like, "Oh no, this like it just awkwardly maybe move." I don't know. Do they have proof? I think it's because Israel's ceremony tomorrow. If I'm not mistaken, Israel is doing the uh yeah, but those are practice. Those were practice because all of the so it's the red cow that doesn't have any blemishes. No blemishes, not a single black hair. Everything is perfect on this cow. And every time they get a cow that they do, because they like comb through this thing. Every time they find one that has like a black hair on it, practice sacrifice heifer. So yeah, they have done practice, ones or trial ones because it's like they haven't done the actual ceremony in like 2,000 years or something like that. So and then yeah, well, the sacrifice, and I'm not going to get into. Let's just stop the recording now. Nice to see you, YouTube.